Partial government shutdown now hitting day 3 as funding for the Department of Homeland Security runs out. Lawmakers remain divided over proposed ICE reforms, but Congress is on recess this week, despite growing concerns over how the shutdown will affect DHS agencies like the TSA and the Coast Guard. Joining us now, 2 of the co-hosts of the Huddle podcast, which brings you inside the political headlines, former White House press secretary for President Trump during his first term, Sean Spicer, and former Democratic advisor Dan Turrentine. Gentlemen, good morning to you. Hope you had a great weekend. Sean, let me just start with you, because this was a scheduled 10-day recess, right, for President's Day. Lawmakers were already starting to leave last week. I think a lot of Americans are questioning why recess isn't canceled so that Congress can figure this out while people are starting to work without paychecks. Why are they moving ahead with this holiday break?
Yeah, well, good morning and happy President's Day. I'll be bipartisan to kick off the day. I'm embarrassed of both sides. I think for our party that controls Congress to take a recess while Homeland Security is shut down is an embarrassment, right? Homeland Security was created in the wake of 9/11 to make sure that our country was prepared. We created literally a department where we cannibalized other agencies, put them in one because we never wanted it to happen again. Remember, the slogan was never forget. Well, how quick they all forgot. Because here we are, the Department of Homeland Security, FEMA, Secret Service, Coast Guard, TSA are not funded. Sure, there's a hodgepodge of things they can do. But at the end of the day, these folks left town to go do fundraisers and political junkets. This is an embarrassment on the Republican side. On the other side, Democrats should be embarrassed by what they're doing, the list of faux demands that they have to hold hostage the security of America right now. This could have been dealt with a lot better, and I think both parties look horribly.
Yeah. Dan, I was thinking, imagine being a TSA agent, and any one of the lawmakers just comes to check in for a flight, just how that must feel this week. Democrats are making this fight about ICE, but the shutdown doesn't affect funding for that agency, right? I mean, it has insulated funding from the one big, beautiful bill that was signed into law last year. So what's their ultimate goal with this?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a great point. I think it's one of the reasons that there's a lack of urgency on both sides. I mean, Donald Trump is down in Palm Beach playing golf this weekend, is that the agency basically has enough funding for the next couple weeks or even potentially months. Markie, it is a great question. I mean, I think to some extent Democrats like the politics of this because the public is on their side on most of those demands. I'm not sure about all of it. And I think the White House knows it and would like to try to strike a deal. The problem is there's a big part of the Democratic caucus that doesn't really even think ICE should exist. And the Democratic Party needs to be careful not to overplay its hand and just think that as long as this drags out and ICE doesn't get additional funding, the country will be with them.
Yeah, Sean, elaborate a little bit more on these demands, too, because you had Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer making the interview rounds this weekend and called Democrats' demands for funding DHS common sense. Masks off, cameras on, every ICE officer to be identifiable. He said these are practices done at every police department across the country. Then you have Oklahoma Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin saying, well, that's a red line because it exposes them to doxing. What concessions do you think Republicans should make in the art of the deal on this?
Yeah, there's actually, I mean, look, that's why I say this is a bit of a faux argument. Body cameras are something that Democrats are asking for that Republicans have already assuaged to and said, we're good with that. We don't have a problem with that. So that's a gimme. Done. Check it off. Additional training. Done. That's a good one. Identifying officers. Again, that's what Chuck Schumer is saying is just not true. If you actually look at a lot of officers today, they'll have a badge number in lieu of their name, right? Considering Tom Homan was out there this weekend talking about a 1,300% increase in attacks on ICE agents and their families. One ICE agent's wife was followed home from work and videotaped to her resident. Her kids are under attack. There's no other law enforcement agency that I think is under that kind of duress as ICE and other Border Patrol-related agencies. So I think as long as they're identifiable by a number, something that Republicans could probably agree on, which a lot of other police departments have gone to, by the way, and that's where Chuck Schumer is lying to the American people and Hakeem Jeffries is lying to the American people. But I think there's some accommodation on that. And then when it comes to judicial versus administrative warrants, that's what the law currently says, right? So the law and the way that they operate is under an administrative warrant where they go to an immigration judge, get the sign off to go. What the Democrats are proposing is that they actually go through an Article 3 judge, which would be a new way of doing business, clog up the system. It's basically a delay and tactic to allow more of the illegal immigrants that Joe Biden brought into the country to stay.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.